this is crazy. It's cool to have you on here because I feel like we've been talking on the internet for some time. We've been trying to align something. I thought the first time we were going to meet was going to be in Lagos, but it ended up being in London. And I think it's just special, man. I think I found out about you I want to say last summer, and it was through Tay Iwar, because he was playing cuts from the album, and just I was just kind of studying some of the features that he had, and I realized you and Santi were very prominent on that. And then I just got in touch with the whole sound. Shout out to Tunji for putting me on to a lot of different sounds, and then I just took it into my own hands and I just dove right into it. Right here in front of me, I got my man representing Nigeria. We got Odunsi. What's good, bro?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
It's dope. And how you feeling, man?
I'm good, bro. Like, I feel good. It feels good to be here too. Considering the fact that I grew up on Soulection Radio too. I used to like listen to it and like uni, like before I go to bed, I just play it.
For real?
Play episodes,
From SoundCloud?
From SoundCloud,
Amazing.
Directly from SoundCloud. And like part of it was what even inspired me to like drop the music the way I did, because I started dropping my music on SoundCloud before I ever got my music on iTunes or Apple or Spotify. So it was like I was listening to music that wasn't like arranged traditionally or like promoted traditionally, so that me and some of my peers got a lot of influence from that, how to release music or just make music without
and you also used to produce music as well, or you still do, but you were a producer first.
I was a producer first,
and you were working with other artists, and then I feel like you got to a point where you felt you can create music better or in a way that you wanted to. So then you started recording yourself. At what point did you, like, when did you start singing and really using your voice? Like, were you like as a young child like already singing, or when did you discover like, you know what, I could actually sing better than everybody, or like do my own thing?
It was never a thing of me feeling like I could sing better than anyone per se. It was just more of a thing of me always feeling like I could sing something my own way, which is something maybe I noticed in like high school when I was in the school choir. And I was writing some songs for the school choir, but I wouldn't like lead the songs. I would just write them and they would sing them sometimes. And then sometimes I would do like a rap for the choir or something like that. But at that time, when I would write the songs, I just realized that my voice sounded like different from everyone's. It wasn't like a singing voice, but it was very like unique in its own way. And the more I tried, the more I could hold some notes. And just generally like making beats for artists, that when I would make some beats, I would have like an idea for it, or where they could take it. And I think at that time, most artists I was working with, except a few, weren't ready to like take risks, like generally with what they wanted to deliver on the beats. So I think that was part of the reasons why I probably tried to give it a chance. And also working with Santi too, because he was one of the first artists that my beats, he used my beats and they started like getting places. So when I worked with Santi,
it's like you both understand each other.
Very well. So by the time I had put out my first couple of songs, Santi was working on his mixtape Susie's Funeral, and I was working close with him on that, and I had built up confidence enough to like deliver a verse on there that was for Gangsta Fear. So I think when that dropped, I gained a lot of confidence to like deliver as an artist besides production.
Also, congratulations for just hitting a year since Rare came out. That's your debut album, proper.
It, man.
And that's 14 tracks, and I still listen to that to this day. There's certain songs that I gravitate towards too, and that I just play over, and I use those songs as references to show people that like, look, like this kid's from Nigeria, but like he's making a sound that's different. Alté is a way of describing like an alternative sound, but alternative is not even the right way to, in my opinion, to describe the music because on that album, I mean, you have like 80s and 90s influences, and it's almost like this vintage modern funk mixed with like soul, neo soul, R&B. You know what I mean? And it's just different. It's left field, but it's just good music, man. You happen to be from Nigeria, but it could also sound like you're from the States.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just about connecting to good sounds, good musicians. And that's why I wanted to have you on here. How are you feeling since it's been 1 year? How have you changed since you dropped that album?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot has changed definitely with me, even as a person, like, and me as a developing artist, because I feel like I just started recording music like 3 years ago, so I'm still very new with like recording.
That's crazy.
So I have
3 years ago. That's wild.
I'm just finding myself still. Like, I'm working on this current album, and I'm going deeper into like pockets that I wasn't going into before, mixing more roots together. Cause like for me, I never want to make an album that sounds like the last album
yeah.
ever do that.
So how does the new album sound? Like if you had to give like a few like sound palettes, of style.
It's definitely more like confident in terms of like delivery, and there's definitely like more like back and forth, like in terms of conversation with myself. Like I feel like with Rare there was like conversation, but it was very abstract. It's like only kind of I knew what I was talking about internally, but you would hear like the melodies and the mood. The mood will like give you a description of what I feel, but like on this one I'm gonna be saying like direct things, and like it's just more, I guess, more like compound songwriting and more like rhythm. I love more groove on this one because of the period I'm probably gonna drop it around, because Rare is like a fall album. It's like late year, colder weather, like calmer periods.
Yeah, it's feel good, man.
Yeah, it's just supposed to be calmer, and this album is against next year, so it'll be dropping just probably before summer or spring.
What can you tell me about this track right here? And that's a feel good record. Even the video to that, that's a feel good record, man. When you sent me that, a couple months ago, I was like, this is the one. I think I had a show like a week or two later, and I played that live, like to see how people reacted, and no one knew what it was, but it was just like it didn't matter. It's just like, you know what I mean? They were still moving because it has that like that late 90s 2000s feel, and then I had we've just played the sample before that, like the reference, and what does that song mean to you, man?
It means to me like the same thing that it means to a lot of like young Nigerians who are like maybe mid 20s, late 20s, early 30s to early 20s, and it was like just at the peak of your childhood, and the song was like the biggest thing in the country in a way, where it was like all the parties everywhere. It just rang around. It was just it's just kind of songs that you might never know whose song it was till you got older, like, oh, who sang the song? But like it was just always in your ear. It was everywhere. It just echoed everywhere. So it was one of those songs that just reminded me of like being young, or like being a kid, or go to like birthday parties and like dancing and all of that. So I just wanted to like bring back that feeling, let people just feel it in a different way, express it in my own way. And also just with me having a lot of like recent interest in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, and that era of music, and just like
it's a special time, right?
Yeah, it's just like I feel like I go through phases where like I just get obsessed with like something and like just go deep into it.
Did you produce that?
Wait a minute, no, GA produced that. GA produces for Culture Funds.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta send me a pack of beats because I love that sound. That production is ill.
Style. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about it. It was very special for me because like he played me like a million beats before that.
Yeah, but
and
that
like,
was the one.
I don't think he even liked me. I don't think he fancied it as much because I don't think he's made a beat like that until Waiting There.
Yeah.
Until this one he made.
Got it.
So it's like super like 90s mix.
Did you add any elements to that beat?
No, at all. That's why it was special, because just like I could have made it. Yeah, just like I could have made this beat, but I didn't have to.
Yeah.
So it's like it's always nicer that way, you know.
What about when you're producing? What are you creating beats on? I'm curious.
I work on like FL Studio.
FL Studio
mainly, but like I'd use Logic to like do some other things, maybe like play some chords there, because I kind of like the way Logic feels with like automation. Like when you're like playing live on it, sometimes it feels more human. when you play on Logic.
That's love.
But I like the drums on FL. Just
the drums smack
harder,
raw.
for some reason.
I don't know what it is.
And also like the programming is like way better because
it's easy to program drums on.
Yeah,
on there
you
sometimes.
almost don't have to have an idea of what you want to do, whereas in Logic you kind of need to know what you're doing. But like in FL, there's just so many. You could just
drag stuff. And
just like mess around.
Yeah, I noticed that, man. It's really dope to hear. And for Rare, how much of that album did you produce?
I would say like 80%.
80% of it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, man. So I just think it's just a nice progression. I mean, like hearing Wet and Day, and then really curious to just hear where you take it forward in 2020.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like I said, it's really dope to see Santi where he's at in his career and the momentum that he's gaining. And what I love about both of you is how the visual aspect that you guys bring to the table on your guys' videos are so on point.
Yeah.
You know, and it seemed like early on it wasn't even about a big budget to put these videos together. It was just getting the idea across. And you do that and to see from 2016 to see your style progress to where it's at now, like the way you dress and the wardrobe, the photos, the cinematography, all those things I pay attention to. I'm like, man, these guys are like young visionaries.
Yeah.
I feel like that brings another element, like watching Santi direct a video for Tyler, for GoldLink and Tyler and Jay Prince, and to see him do like his own Quentin Tarantino type videos, and then to see how you guys also all support each other, man, is ill. When you guys are doing sessions or shows, you know, he's at your performances, you're at his, and I think that's important for people to see, because sometimes it could come off like in the music game, people are just very like standoffish or competitive. Especially when one's starting to prosper.
No, the thing about it is like we all like basically it was different for us because like we all like came up recording music around each other, so it's like it was truly like a brotherhood. It was like we were recording in the same house. We're like just, and all the experiences we faced it like almost at the same time. Obviously me facing it later, Santi's been doing it way longer than I have, so I was like newer, and like he was able to teach me stuff and I was able to give him like new energy just because I was like
you're fresh to it.
I was fearless. I wasn't like really afraid of anything, so it was like he was able to use that energy to just keep going, and I was able to use some of his like experience and his wisdom to teach me like how to like maybe even just record music myself, or like just even like in delivery wise, or how to like get songs to some places, or like I remember even when I started releasing music, I had no idea how to even get to like blogs or anything. At that time we used to submit songs to blogs, and he would just help me like send it pack out just to get the music out. And my other bros, GMK, Junior, and it was truly like we were all in the same house just doing this every day, and we spoke about things that are happening now. Back then, like, I can't wait to do this, I can't wait to do this, I can't wait to do that. So it was just like with us, we just wanted to see each other like grow bigger, and plus we have more fun just working together. And
I noticed too, a lot of you guys from Nigeria come, and just from Africa, from Ghana, from Kenya. A lot of people come to the UK, they come to London specifically. What is it about London that you gravitate towards and spend time here?
I think first of all, it's like the cross-cultural like exchange here is very like multicultural. Like it feels like it's one big village of culture, and it's just like the exchange is very easy. It doesn't feel like you need to like adapt to anything. It just feels like you could just exist in your brain while being here. If you want to like do something, so that's why it's easier for me to like say come here and be like, I want to work on my album. It doesn't affect anything in my sound. It doesn't affect anything at all. Just the experiences I decide to have to curate here away from home. So you could curate your own experiences, I guess, easier in London and maybe some other places, just because it's like there's Nigerians here. There's a Nigerian community that's very close to Pulse. and it's like Caribbean community very close
Yeah,
to Pulse.
Yep.
And like all of them just mix together, and it just brings this like very unique fusion of.
Because even on some of your sound, your music, it has like that dance hall rhythm.
Yeah,
to it.
Yeah, that's
you know
the
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like all these elements fusing together.
Yeah,
and that's what I had tweeted something the other day about even the sounds that I gravitate towards. Or, you know, I'm from LA, I'm born and raised, so I have that West Coast California culture, sound, style to me, but I'm also gravitated towards like Jamaican roots, you know, Caribbean roots, and African tribal, you know, Nigerian roots, you know, Brazilian ballet funk styles. And those are it's that tribe, it's that those drums, that patterns, that deepness that I love. And so I think right now what we're seeing is just we're hearing everybody starting to fuse that together, and more than ever, like African music. You know, I'm not talking about like African American, but I'm talking about African music is like bigger than ever. Yeah, everybody is trying to like tap in, but I mean, it's like you can't replicate. Can't replicate it.
Yeah, you have to live it to kind of replicate it, and I think that's why the easiest place to come first is London before the US, because when you come to London, you kind of meet the people who are you, but like away from you first, and then you could go to the US, where it's like the people who've been away for just like it's like there's a long line of distance, and then the farthest might be the African Americans, and the closest might be maybe like Africans in the UK or Africans in Europe, and then all the way to Africans and Americans. So I think that's the next stage, is like African Americans. It's like that last stage of like wokeness, once everyone realizes that like we are kind of like the same people, we've just been separated with time, a lot of time. So it's just like,
I like the way you broke that down.
Yeah, so I think that's why the Africans in Africa and the Africans in Europe and UK are just like joining together now, so that it's like one big force, and it wouldn't take as long for Black Americans to like catch on, or just even America as a whole to catch on, because it would be a whole movement by then already. Yeah,
that's why I'm here. I'm trying to bridge that together for our side, you know.
Yeah, and exactly, that's the thing. That's also the thing I realized, is like the parties here kind of like are very unique in a way where you can almost hear anything.
I could play anything here.
Yeah.
People will go crazy.
Yeah, you could hear anything. Like there's no telling what you're gonna hear. And I think that's like one of the most unique things about the UK, is like you could hear anybody, anything. There's 100%. There's no like boundaries to what you can hear.
There's one song that we can play right now from Rare before we wrap up here. What song would you want to play? What's your favorite song that you want people to introduce to you?
The last song that like I've been like holding on it because I'm very tired of it is Hectic.
Hectic?
Yeah.
Okay. You just heard Hectic. Let's talk about those features. Who was on that song?
Amaray. Amaray's on it. Solace. And 234 Jada.
Got it. I've been seeing Amaray's name a lot.
Yeah, she's so good.
She's talented.
She's so good.
Yeah,
we have this like crazy drum on your album.
Yeah,
it's so crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a great writer, man.
Yeah, she's like currently she's top 10 like favorite rappers in the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
Is there anybody coming up right now that like people may not know about, that you think they don't even have to be from Nigeria, just anywhere like that you're feeling?
Oh, like Baby Keem. Don't know if you know Baby Keem.
Yeah, of course, come on.
Yeah.
You know he's from LA.
Yeah.
You like that song Orange Soda?
Bro, I love his album. I didn't even hear about him till the album. I just listened to the album one day. My friend just texted me like, bro, and this is my friend that like we share music, like we have like similar tastes. He's like, bro, listen to this. This is an instant classic. I'm like, what do you mean?
It's classic, huh?
I was like, bro, this is an instant classic.
That's what I was talking.
First instant classic since Trap Soul. I was like, wow, okay, now I need to listen.
You said since Trap Soul, since like Bryson Tiller?
Since Trap Soul,
yeah. That's a classic album.
And I agree. Like there's a lot of classic albums. Like I feel like Dial It by Playboi Carti is a classic album, but I don't think it was an instant classic.
Yeah, it had to grow on you.
I think after a while we just realized that, wow, we're still listening to this. But like when I heard Baby Keem's album, it's just like it's a perfect. There's like so many smashes on it. Every song could be a hit song. Every song could be number one.
Yeah.
So just like I not heard anything like that in a while.
has that West Coast sound, that vibe to it, man.
Yeah, definitely. It's like it's
that
so
energy.
It's like Kendrick and Playboi Carti together. Like it's like damn Kendrick.
Yeah.
But like with like youth, a lot of youth.
You know, I heard that's Kendrick's cousin.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
To make something like that.
Bro, he's like a genius. In my head.
Have you connected with him?
Yeah, we've spoken a bit, but like we've not. I haven't. He was out here for a bit. I was trying to reach out. I don't know if he's still here, but like I definitely gonna try just like work with him before the album. I want to like work with some new young artists from the US too on the album this time, so that it has a more like vast array of like features and just like people to collaborate with.
Yeah.
I think also what have I been listening to? To be honest, there's this guy called Jay Caesar. Oh no, there's this other rapper. He's from Nigeria, but like he's based in like London and New York. His name is Mason 2500.
Mason 2500.
Yeah, so it's like 2500. He's like
he's crazy with it.
He's like so good. He reminds me of like the Lil Wayne era, like when Lil Wayne was just like dropping so many songs.
Like the raw Lil Wayne.
Yeah, so it's just dropping like it's like lo-fi rap, but like.
What's his name one more time?
Like,
write it down.
Mason
2500.
Yeah, 2500.
He's like
his album Mace World is like the soundtrack to my life.
World. Okay.
Yeah. Me and Santi like, bro.
Just go off to that.
It's like we shout about him so much, but like I think people don't get it yet because like I think because the kind of music he makes, usually you're big when you make that kind of music.
Got it, but he's already making it.
Yeah, so it's a bit strange. It's like it sounds like.
Well, people could say the same thing about you. You know what I'm saying, and Santi as well. You guys are young, and you guys are already making like songs that are timeless. Yeah. You know, in like 5-10 years from now, I think we'll listen to those songs and I'll be like, what? When I hear like Sparky and Rapid Fire, it sounds like it almost sounds. I thought at first Santi was like Jamaican at first or something because of the way his style.
Yeah. It's so unique.
It's like, crazy. It's so unique. Yeah. All you guys are very intricate, man, and very diverse. On the last note, do you ever feel like coming out of Nigeria, you know, like just because there's so much talent coming out of there and people just and where Afro beats is going, do you ever feel pressured by like the sound or just expectations of people, or do you feel like completely confident and like all about where you're at right now?
No, definitely. I'm definitely confident, like in terms of like how much I've learned. And like I said, like I just started recording music, so it's like I'm not even in a hurry to be anywhere. I'm just like learning,
taking
my time, learning how to like fully develop myself into like what I want to be or what I should be. Just like with everything happening around me, with the with obviously my sub scene getting more recognition, and even the mainstream getting more recognition, I'm learning to take both strengths and like work with them and like create a path for myself and music for myself, because at the end of the day there's just something about music that like generally you could fit yourself in a pocket that makes you be able to say anything you want at any time and still keep your authenticity with you and be able to spread around the whole world. So I think that's what I'm trying to work on right now, trying to find those pockets where I'm not like generic in the sense of like just making music, but also not being like too traditional. Yeah. So that's where I'm trying to go to now, with all the eyes on like, let's say, African or Nigerian artists right now. That's what I'm focusing on.
All right. Well, man, again, I'm glad you came here. I feel like this is just the first of many. Yeah. Make sure we find a way to listen to this album.
Yeah, definitely.
And if not, when it's ready, you said summer, to like close to summer of next year.
Yeah, like let's say spring. Around spring next year.
Looking forward to it, bro. And looking forward to when you come to the States and tour. We're looking forward to that. So, thank you.
Thank you, bro.
All right. First of many times, we got Odunsi. All right. Soulection Beast 1, Nigerian Connection.